Yes, I'd like to call the Ascension Parish Utilities Committee meeting to order. Members present, Councilman Johnson, Councilman Collins. Members absent, Councilman Lambert and Sheikh Snyder. Councilman Johnson, would you lead us into a prayer following the pledge?
Awesome, Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, grant us the wisdom to make the best decisions for the people of our parish. Keep your guiding hand over us as we do our business here tonight, as well as the administration of the parish. Keep your protecting hand over the men and women in uniform, not only for our communities, but also for our nation. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We got one chair addition. Need to add to the agenda. Need a motion to add.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Need to add the subdivision on Highway Premium Village. Roll call.
Councilman Benny Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis Collins,
Yes.
Councilman.
Yes. We're gonna add that to agenda 9A. Okay. Professional Selection Committee results, Alligator Bar Sewer System, Ms. Jackie Bowman.
Good evening, committee. The selection committee met on January 19th to read aloud scores for the Alligator Bayou Sewer Project. The shortlist we're presenting to you tonight is MWH, Fortin Tablata, and Evans Graves Engineers for your selection, one of those firms for this project.
Entertain a motion to select one of them.
I say we go with Fort and Tablata.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Collins, second by Councilman Johnson for Fulton Tablata. No opposition to the motion. Motion passed. Fulton Tablata it is. Update on Consolidated Utility District, Mr. Cedric Grant.
Council members, in your packet, you have before you a proposed ordinance that would propose to create a consolidated utility district on the East Bank for sewer and water services. We have been at this for about 5 or 6 months. We have carefully done our research. We are finalizing our discussions with the 2 outstanding districts, and we expect that by the time you would meet next month, we would have those resolutions asking that they be incorporated into this consolidated utility district. What I would ask you to do is take this ordinance under consideration this month and be prepared to make a recommendation to the council at their next meeting in March. It's an ambitious issue for us, but quite honestly, absolutely necessary to begin the process of managing and controlling our utilities on the East Bank. All right, do you have any questions about this?
Gentlemen, will y'all take this ordinance, dissect it, highlight any concerns that you may have, and get with Mr. Grant on it?
It would give us another month of consideration. Once we would introduce it, once you move it favorably to the council next month, that would give it another public hearing, so it would get a great deal of ability to be heard by the public.
Would you keep that on the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Till we adopt it. No, it's just for review.
Very good.
Okay, agenda item number 6, comprehensive sewers plant, Mr. Cedric Grant.
Yes, sir. I wanted to from this point forward, begin to give you monthly updates on our progress on the sewer plant in its design and implementation, because we will be very heavily involved in this through the year and going into construction in the latter part of the year. Right now, we're undertaking four phases of the project at the same time. One is the completion of the plans and specifications for the water treatment plant, which would be a 1.75 million gallon plant on the BASF site at Highway 30. I will tell you, we have communicated, we have sent a letter to BASF requesting the donation. We are meeting with them tomorrow morning. Our staff is to begin to get rights of entry and move forward on that. We have had very favorable response to that communication, and we're moving forward on that piece of the puzzle. We are also going to be involved in the design of the effluent pump station and effluent force main to the river. All of that will be a part of, included in the land donation and in the design. Also, in the package that we're doing right now, we've completed the associated environmental information document that will be needed by DEQ to go forward. Within 2 weeks' time, we will meet with DEQ and go over the basically our pre-application that we've submitted. We're going to exchange information and begin the process of beginning to process that. The major piece of that is a financial analysis, which I'm engaged with the Corps of Engineers at this point to help us understand how our debt service would be paid on the $18 million loan. This also will include the $5 million Community Development Block Grant Program where we will do the sewer connections to the Hillryville and Darrell community. So we have a plan. We're moving forward on the pieces of that plan, and our goal is to meet the budget in the scope that we told you about earlier, which is basically about mid-year, to the end of the year, we'll close the loan and go forward with construction of the plant.
Question, Councilman Johnson?
Mr. Grant,
Yes, sir.
has any funding changes happened with the Corps as far as their sewer projects or anything from a federal level at this time?
This is where we are with that. We have fully funded our portion of all of the grants that have been made available to us. So basically, we're operating with about a $600,000 current appropriation in the FY10 bill, which we funded our portion of $153,000. We've leveled off everything in the prior years. Total commitment from the parish over about the last 10 years is about $726,000 of local match to about $2.5–3 million of core funding. As late as last week, we were still being asked if we would consider accepting stimulus funding if it became available as other projects fell out. I think we've got a little bit of breathing room, and if that should happen, we might have a little match to do that, but we'll bring that back to you as those situations develop. But right now, we are funded to complete this treatment plant and this effluent discharge to the river.
That includes all design?
That's correct. We're funded.
Okay, thank you.
Anything, Councilman Collins?
No, that was it.
Mr. Grant, is there any funding to tie the rest of the Hillryville
That's
in?
in the Community Development Block Grant Fund. We're going to do that with the $5 million.
Does that include Astroland also?
Trying. We're close. We're close. I think we might be able to, I'm not ready to commit to that yet, but I think we may be able to get a lift station that will connect the majority of those plants in that area and bring them back to this plant.
Okay.
That's what we're working on.
That's all being designed by the Corps.
No, we're going to design those separate.
We're going to,
That'll be separate design program.
will we be able to use the funds that they have on hand to help with this? Once we take it over?
Oh, yes. I mean, any of the funds in the fund balance for their operations, absolutely. That's my intent. And
Okay.
that's, quite honestly, it speaks back to this utility district that we just talked about. That's assuming all of these things under that umbrella.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Grant. Anything else, Councilman Johnson? Councilman Collins? Okay, moving right along, agenda item 7, discussion of collection system.
Yes, sir. As I just explained to you in the last item, what we have in this core program is design of a treatment plant and the discharge to the river. Now we have to begin the process of discussing the collection system. about how we connect the various pieces and parts of this to make this an operating system. So what you have in your packet here is a resolution that I'd like you to give some consideration to, and again, we'd like to come back at the next meeting and have you adopt this resolution and move it on to the council. But what it suggests to you is a process for how we would go about acquiring private systems and connecting them to our sewer system and an operations and maintenance opportunity with a private provider. So this is a privatization initiative that we'd like to explore because of some interest that we've had on the part of that. But this is the first step in that process, which is to create the process you would use to go through that. This follows state law, and we believe this is a good and competitive process that will allow us to solicit the maximum number of opportunities to do this. We've certainly had some interest, but we want to see what's real. And this would give us that opportunity.
Councilman Johnson. Councilman Collins, anything?
No.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Grant. Keep that on the agenda for the next meeting also. Thank you. We moving right along. Agenda item number 8, Country Ridge change order.
Yes, sir. This was to be presented by Mr. Matassa, but he's out sick today. What this is the closeout of Country Ridge. We've now successfully completed those sewer system improvements. This is a balancing change order, and quite honestly gives a little bit of money back to us. It also, what I'd like to get from you today is a resolution in support of this change order that also includes releasing the retainage, because we've now completed this Country Ridge project and it's operating.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson,
This is how much we getting back?
1382.
Oh, okay. I'll second that, yeah.
second by Councilman Collins. We need to move that and have that on the council agenda,
Full council?
full council agenda.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Agenda item 9, new business. Mr. Grant, you have anything?
No.
Okay, we're gonna move into 9-8 subdivision. Quality engineering.
Parisian Villas.
Mr. Chairman, committee members, thank you for having me. I know for some time y'all been talking about creating a sewer district, and by creating that district, you would possibly be buying some of these residential systems out. This is Parisian Villa and Lafayette Center. It's approximately 60,000 square foot of commercial that fronts Highway 42. And the residential is behind it, which will front 929, kind of by the fire station. In this development, I'm sure you know, most private developments, the sewer system is put in by the developer, it's donated to a operator, and that operator takes the system over and charges the fees. Meaning y'all getting ready to get into the sewer business, we thought y'all might want to have this one donated to y'all instead of having to buy it from a private individual further down the road. So we're here to present it to you. Developer's willing to donate it to y'all instead of the private individual. If y'all do take it over, right now I don't think y'all have any specs, but if y'all would like something spec, like a special pump or whatever, if y'all do decide to take it over, we need to know that pretty quick, because this project is getting ready to go into design, not design, actual construction. But I just wanted to present it to y'all, and it's there if y'all want it.
Mr. Grant, you have any comment, concern? President Martinez?
How many lots is it?
Residential, President, it was 32. It's been reduced to 26, and approximately 60,000 square feet of commercial.
Okay. We are looking at possibility, if we would take this over, I'd certainly like to see some sort of generator put in on this project for backup. So anything new that comes in, I'd like to, have that, and ability that we have another hurricane, something to that effect. That's the only thing I'm gonna ask to add on to it.
And as of right now, I'll have to ask the developer if he's willing to do that, but we'll certainly take that in
We'll
consideration.
make a motion pending.
Pending the, I'll make that motion, pending the generator.
We'll put it pending negotiation with the administration would be a better
Let-
way to word that motion.
Yeah, we,
And-
why don't you just let us do an analysis, get with Mr. Behringer and, discuss it, and then, you can go ahead and move it on to the council, pending discussion with the administration and an analysis.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Motion by Councilman Cullen, second by Councilman Johnson to move it to the, full council pending, negotiation with the administration. No opposition to the motion. Motion passes. Agenda item number 10, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
By Councilman Collins, second by Councilman Johnson. Adjourn.